this late night live stream of Star Citizen 318 Open PTU. We're just going to have a fun time, relaxing, doing some missions, hopefully having some conversations with chat, and see what type of trouble we can get into. So without holding on much longer, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright. So we're already in game. We're continuing from where we last left off from last night's stream at Port Olisar. And yeah, we'll get everything situated and see what we can do. Alright, let's see what missions we got. First, make sure we get our Call to Arms mission. Alright, we got one of the new Orison platform missions, so let's go do that.
Welcome to the ASOC Vehicle Retrieval System. Your insurance claim has been set. Your vehicle has been moved to our storage facility.
We'll take a starter ship, so that way we can get down to the planet surface quickly.
Stand by. Your vehicle has been delivered to the following location.
C7. And before we do that, let's go get some guns and ammo. Alright, we got the FS9 and the Arrowhead. Buy 7 of those. Okay. And get some med pens as well. Can't tell if that was a mantis or a deformed Connie. How's it going, Brittany? That's really funny to hear, and yeah, it's kind of cool to see how global of a game that this game is. I've probably met 1 or 2 Korean players throughout my adventures over the years, but that's really funny to see.
Thank you, and please visit again.
Yeah, there's currently 4 different server regions. There's US, UK, Australian, and they just opened up a Asian branch, which I think is stationed in Japan for their server. We're getting a small glitch here, it looks like. Which honestly, I've heard the Asian servers have been a really big welcome to the game. Because a lot of the times previously people had to connect to the Australian servers, which overall weren't bad for people connecting. It definitely is nowhere like having, you know, a place that's a lot closer and across an ocean to have your information sent back and forth. Now we need to scope out where the spaceport is. Absolutely they do. Yes, they definitely take it very seriously. The esports arena over there is very competitive. Which Star Citizen has its own esports competition that several different ones that happen every year. One of the biggest ones is called the Daymar Rally, which is a ground vehicle race that takes place on the moon of Daymar, to where players, and this year we had the highest amount, I think there was close to 2,000 participants, and they all race between 3 different points, stations on the moon, and have to get to each checkpoint. And overall the race takes about 3 to 5 hours to get between each point, or not each point, but in total. So about an hour and 20 minutes to each point. And people will try to, you know, get into the race. You know, on top of it, there's weapons a lot in the race, so it's a fierce competition. But there's a lot of times a lot of griefers that try to ruin the competition. Okay, I'm not sure if that is the spaceport. No, that is the spaceport. Okay. Eventually that would be something that would be a lot of fun, especially for a game like this. Right now racing is kind of the big thing. Yeah, there are prizes. With the Daymar Rally, I believe there's both a cash prize as well as you can earn ships, which, you know, have a monetary value as well. I think first place for this one earned a ship called the 600i. I could be wrong. I didn't really pay much attention this year during the rally, but that ship alone is worth about $400 to $500. With you know, lifetime insurance and stuff on it, so that way if it's ever destroyed, you still get to keep it and can just reclaim it. but one of my guild members or org members was a worked on the one of the checkpoints for the race. He was in a giant ship that a bunch of the ground vehicles had to drive under and through and were, since they were part of a team, were checked in, forwarding that information to the managers of the race. Yeah, I mean, this game is definitely a kind of like a collector's game in a lot of senses. On top of it being a game that has a fairly hefty PC requirement to play, most of the people that do play it are well into their 30s and 40s and up. And so, it's that demographic that has a lot of disposable income on top of being gamers for a long time, who are familiar with the CEO of this project, who is renowned for making other space games back from the early 90s and early 2000s that were, next gen back then. Back before there was, fully 3D environmental games. He was, kind of a visionary, pushing the tech that allowed for full 6 degrees of flying around back when it was more kind of an illusion than it was actual 3D play space. And so this guy's always been, his name's Chris Roberts, but he's always been a visionary with kind of pushing the technical limits of games. And that's why, this game has so much prowess behind it. It's the fans for it are diehards.
Welcome to the ASOC Vehicle Retrieval System.
But, it's just like how you said, with spending a lot of money on the game, the nice thing about it is that, all the things that you can pay with real money, you can also earn in-game without spending a dime. The buy-in to the game is really cheap. It's $45 for a game package on an average day, and they have multiple sales throughout the year that usually brings it down to, $40. And from there on, you can just do missions in game, or grind up the currency you want yourself, and be able to earn all the ships in game just through hard work. Yeah, the official release stuff is, for this, the one that I'm playing here, the MMO version, it's definitely a few years off. They're finalizing a lot of the final networking tech, which is due out later this year and then finalized early next year. And then from that point on, it's just filling out the remaining game loops and getting the rest of the solar systems in place, which they've been working hard on behind the scenes. We're expecting our second solar system at the end of this year. And, we've been playing in this solar system since early 2016 or mid 2016. It's never gotten old. They're consistently adding new locations and things to do, missions. A while back, there were a lot of these really awesome kind of cinematic missions that involved with you meeting up with NPCs that you would talk to, have multiple conversation points you could choose from to move the story along. It is kind of a weird limbo. It definitely is. You know, the game is definitely buggy. It crashes a lot. It's a lot better than it was years ago. With each year, the game has come great strides with stability, and it's definitely the most polished and stable it's been yet. But in terms of what they do offer in the game, yes, those feel very polished. There's still a lot more that needs to be added too, but you can definitely do them for hundreds, if not thousands of hours and not have it be repetitive, because the game's a sandbox, and so every time you go out to play, it's going to be a different experience. Well, I mean, that's definitely, a concern that people have had. They are creating the tech themselves from the ground up. Your traditional game companies, they buy a game engine and use the tools that are associated with it, and they're stuck with those tools and those limits of the game engine. Yes, I saw that too. They're limited to what they can fully update without having to put in all that effort and money themselves, and that takes a lot of time. The other benefit that this game has is that your traditional game developer usually has a publisher that goes along with them to give them deadlines, as well as to pay for the projects that they're working on. This game doesn't have that. It's purely just we, the players, paying for the game to be developed. And with that, they are free to, do research and development that normally a lot of companies would be too afraid to do because of the technical hurdles that would go along with it. Okay, so it looks like we got everything. We're just going to offload any extra stuff.
Last call for passengers. The shuttle is preparing to depart.
All right, and we're good to go. Let's do some missions. Make sure we're tracking the mission too. Alright, so yes, so this is the planet of Crusader. It's our first actual gas giant in the game. Like if I were to jump off here, which I could, I would literally just continue falling until the pressure would crush me to death. Eventually, atmospheric pressure will be an actual thing for like ships and vehicles, so certain planets and moons will actually be, you'll have to make sure your ship can handle the demands of what they offer, both in terms of environment and sorry, one second. Yeah, absolutely, it is nice, and it's new content every 3 months. Sometimes they slip behind on that, like we currently are. This current patch was supposed to be due out in December, but because it has that pivotal networking tech that I was mentioning that goes into it, they left it here in the oven, so to speak, for an extra 2.5 months to really iron out all the issues, because the tech that comes after this is heavily dependent on this working properly. Essentially what this tech is called PES, or persistent entity streaming, and what it does is essentially you can put it essentially keeps track of every item in the game. So let's say like my gun on my back, if I were to die on a moon or planet, my body and all these items in theory should persist forever until someone finds it or until I run back and get it. And that can be done with vehicles to a coffee mug to pretty much anything. So if you wanted to, you could create a little stash in your favorite little hidey hold anywhere in the verse, and come back 3 months later after something happens and maybe you're in trouble, maybe you're a wanted criminal and you can't go to the stores or any of the cities and shops anymore, but you have your stash somewhere to resupply at and be able to do that. And what this tech will open up with the next set of tech that they're working on, which is called server meshing, which essentially takes what we have now, our classic servers, and intertwines them and scales them. Yeah, seriously, that is definitely something that people love doing. And it's heavily encouraged. It's the spoils war, essentially, and it's leaves people both happy and quite upset. But going back to the next big update, server meshing essentially takes all of our servers and makes them smaller. So instead of the server being the entire solar system, it breaks it down to like this planet would be a server, even the city could be a server, to all these different areas that are servers. And as you're traveling throughout the game, because there's no loading screens, what's called the authority of your character moving between servers is handed off in the background, and this will allow for locations to scale up to allow for thousands, if not tens of thousands of players, on top of being able to see in between the servers as well. So if you're on the border of a server, you can still see other people playing in that other server. And then as soon as you pass that threshold, you enter that new server state. And then eventually, the first implementation is called static server meshing. Essentially, as I had mentioned, each place will have their own servers and whatnot to handle it. But later on, after they get static server meshing in, they bring in what's called dynamic server meshing, which essentially is the only difference is that, let's say if you have an area in the solar system and there's no players then are there, instead of having it constantly be there taking up resources, it will phase it out until a player gets close enough to it that then it will, bring it back into the overall game's memory. So that way, resources are all very well managed and not bogging the game down. Chatbot, you need to calm down. I'll look into that to see, to try to get it to not worry as much about long messages, because your messages aren't that long. As far as the current plan is, at least at the start, they want it to be one big mega server, a global server, but they're not sure how latency will react and how it could affect. Oh gosh. Yeah, I definitely need to make some edits to it. So like here, we got a dead security guard here that either a player or an NPC was taking on, and he happens to be carrying my ammo. So, not a bad find there. But yeah, so eventually they want it to be one big mega server, but they have to first see how well that would behave with making sure it doesn't lag everyone. Because if you know, I'm here in the US. If I'm fighting, like you mentioning, if I was fighting someone in Korea, the time that it takes for their information to get to the server, get to me, and then back and forth, could leave for a lot of desync and lag. And so they may have to end up doing kind of what they have now. It would be single regional servers for everyone to play on. All right. So far, no one to fight against, which is not a bad thing. Okay, I got some food here. Grab some protein bars and some water. There is unfortunately not like a global. There is a global chat, but it's currently regulated to the server you're playing on. Oh yeah, there's plenty of trash talk on this game. It's can be quite hilarious at times. Normally I have chat turned off, but looks like mainly just some people chatting about ships and some other minute things. Hello, Hype Monkey. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. For those just watching, coming in to watch right now, we are multi-streaming both to YouTube and Twitch. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about yourself? Trying out the new Orison missions here on the platforms. First time doing it. Pretty excited. Alright, so it looks like I went to the wrong area. I thought I had to come up to the roof here, especially since there's all the dead bodies, but yeah, from what I remember, Brittany, the chat was kind of area based as well in WoW, and so yeah, it definitely didn't feel as congested unless if you were like maybe in a city. But it definitely still made it very interesting for when you were kind of in those PvP centered areas where all the factions can group up and fight each other. Okay. I feel, Hype Monkey, I feel you. Long day, absolutely, from work. It's feels good to sit back, relax, and just kind of enjoy, watching some streams. Totally get that. And to answer your question, no, I've been playing the PTU for a long time. Specifically, I've been playing the 318 PTU since it was, oh, not reloaded. That could have been dangerous. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. Been, yeah, playing it since it came out to Wave 1, and just haven't had as much time to stream on it until recently. But it's been a lot of fun. When it first came out, it was definitely had a lot of issues, but the Open PTU patch now has been very stable. It really has been interesting to play. Alright, where are we? Are we on the roof? No, okay. Yeah, absolutely. I had one tram, was on New Babbage, that I was heading on my way to the spaceport, and the tram decided to fly underneath the planet. And needless to say, it didn't go back up. So I was forced to have to, yeah, exactly, backspace my way back to the surface. It was a hilarious bug, though. Frustrating nonetheless, but hilarious. But I gotta say, these new Orison platform missions is a lot of fun. You know, first time doing it, but being able to come here without doing Siege of Orison is fresh. Fresh to be able to enjoy the locations again, you know? Oh no, that's never fun. That's hilarious though to see a ship do that. I've seen a Carrack do that once, to where, ooh, boss guy, run, 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 run. Okay, he's down. Alright, Brittany. Hey, thanks for coming in. It was fun talking to you. We'll definitely catch you later. Alright, we got 8 more guys. Now the question is, where could these last 8 dudes be at? So what's, Hype Monkey, what's been your favorite part of the 318 PTU so far? Definitely. Yes, the persistence of soft death has been wonderful. I mean, I personally don't do too much piracy, but I do love the whole idea behind it. The fact that it's now finally, oh god, in game. How is he shooting me through a tree? Oh. Oh, goodness. Nice, that's awesome to hear. Thank you so much, man. That's awesome. Very kind of you. Well, luckily I spawned here on Orison, so I can just run back here and get my stuff. But yeah, I happen to run an org as well. We're called UGIS, or Unions Guild of Interspatial Species, because you never know if CIG will ever come out with allowing us to be alien races. So I thought I would cover that safely. But we are a freelance corporation that offers our services out to other orgs who need pretty much anything done, from fleet protection to mining and salvage operations, repair, cargo transport, selling of materials, both illicit or legal. You know, pretty much you name it, we cover it. I've seen your group's name run around on Spectrum before. That's awesome to meet you, man. If you're ever interested, we also have a YouTube channel that we're also streaming this to as well, called FleetReadyGaming. And if you would ever love to play together, we have our Discord information on there. Would love to talk to you, and maybe we could do some missions. My group is usually always on playing, and always looking for more friends to make, man. But to answer your question, I see your one saying about keeping the whole sea, or getting the catch. That's a tough one. I mean, you know, with PES now being in the game, the whole debate of internal and external cargo is a huge topic of concern. Actually, I think... well, just need to make sure we have a gun. Take a shotgun. All right. Now time for the long run back. You know, honestly, I'm super excited for the Whole Sea to come out. I don't own one, but several of my org members do own several of the whole series. And so it's always interesting, you know, especially now that PES is here, how that's going to play in with cargo haulers, especially with the vast amount that the Whole Sea can bring. You know, personally, I'm looking forward to the BMM coming in game. You know, I was heavily disappointed when CIG shelved it again last year, and one that I'm very excited to see finally make it one day in the game. Yeah, I mean, overall, I'm not all that surprised either, but, you know, it's always a disappointment, and, you know, it hits deep when you see a ship that you love get a little bit of work on and then put back down until they can get back to it. I mean, it's definitely had its growth spurts, so it makes sense why it did.
The next shuttle is approaching the station.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. You know, I'm hoping that,
the shuttle is preparing to depart.
You know, even though it's probably still quite a while off,
Please clear the hatch.
you know, I'm hoping that the Polaris and maybe some other, you know, some sort of other cap ship will come out. I mean, I know we're not getting the Idris or Javelin until Squadron comes out, but
Home to the temporary residences for VIPs like you. Passengers who have reservations at the
Oh, absolutely. It can be ridiculous, especially. I mean, not so much. I guess ridiculous isn't the right word. You know, a cap ship should be hard to kill, but it's yeah, it makes sense that it's going to take a cap ship to take out a cap ship. You know, unless if you have a very tailored and specialized squadron to go in and take it out. You know, personally, yeah, exactly, and I completely agree. You know, the light fighter meta that we have at the moment is definitely not sustainable for the future, and truly, when you know, hopefully, once the armor system does come online, it will completely rewrite the whole meta. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for cap ships. I own quite a few of them, with the Kraken being my go-to. Mainly because I'm more of a logistics kind of guy. While I do love combat and whatnot, the idea of orchestrating, you know, the behind the scenes and equally being a part of it is what I'm most interested in. Yep, I completely agree. I'm hoping that will be the case as well. Ah, that's awesome. I'm hoping on getting a Jav here with Fleet Week coming up. I've got the money set aside, and if you know, so long as nothing happens, it's one that I plan to pick up. They are. They really are. They go fast. Um, I've had some good luck with the F54s. The last F54 I did, I was able to get the Kraken Privateer, and Idris all within the same wave. Yeah, definitely. I missed a year as well for getting the Kraken and Idris one year, and then the second year I tried, I was able to get all three of them.
Approaching next station. If this is your stop, please prepare to disembark. Last call for passengers. The shuttle is preparing to depart.
Alright, now let's see if we can get to my body without getting shot. Yeah, dude. I'm just like blown away by that number, you know. It's so many, but also, you know, in the grand scheme of things, not that many. But the idea of having over 2,000 javelins, I mean, if they were to all be duking it out, you know, in a perfect world scenario, it would be such an amazing, jaw-dropping, you know, sight to behold. You know, one day, you know, just like with EVE Online, you know, the capital class battles and just the territorial battles that this game will offer are going to be like none other. Yes, absolutely. I mean, honestly, the only reason I have mine is purely because of the org I run. You know, we're a smaller group. We have 35 members, but, you know, so we have enough to man the Idris, or the Kraken and whatnot, and a flight deck crew for that. But we're looking to grow our numbers, you know, and that's all you can hope to do. You know, I had this one guy, who was in my org probably about 4 years ago before he unfortunately had to leave the game behind. And he had pretty much every ship in the game. He was Praetorian or whatever the heck it is, but had a Javelin, you know, both Krakens, a couple Idrises. He was an early backer too, so I think he even had an Idris M back before they became limited. That's awesome to hear, man. It's, you know, definitely a rewarding feeling when you have an active org as well, you know. So many of these orgs, especially in this day and age, you know, are, you know, dead orgs that have a handful of active members but are, you know, claiming they have many, many more. All right. I bet that was the guy who killed me. Yeah, absolutely. Life has been boring. Completely agree. Alright, we got 5 more guys. Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I've literally have only been playing the PTU since it was released to Wave 1. And now that we're so close to live release, you know, everyone is getting back online and is excited to get in and try it. You know, and of course I have quite a few of those members who are strictly non-PTU. They don't have the hard drive space to download the PTU branch as well. And so, you know, it's been an extra long wait for them. Alright, 3 more dudes. Yeah, I'm running on a oh, what's the brand called? One of the faster digital blues, Digital Western. Nice, nice. Yeah, overall I'm sitting at about 5 terabytes of space between three different drives, but I got one just specifically for Star Citizen just to make sure it could run smoothly, and then recently upgraded my CPU to get a better experience. I was running on a Ryzen 7 2700, which honestly, for an older graphics card, it did very well with handling Star Citizen, but recently upgraded to the 5800X 3D card, and it literally has been night and day. Next, I plan to upgrade my graphics card. I'm currently running on an RTX 2070. You gonna drop? Anything? No? Okay, that's definitely cool.
This ain't gonna end well for you.
Well, yeah, especially if you don't die.
screwed with the wrong people.
Nice. Yeah, seriously. Both of those guys refusing to die. What the heck? Okay, well that's problematic.
Shit. Wherever they are, they won't get away long.
Let's try going up and coming back down, see if that changes anything. And get some more ammo. Well, he looked like he was about to die and then just moved back up. Well, that's definitely going to be an issue. Gonna have to report that bug. Well, I don't think this mission is going to be completable because those guys are refusing to die, so I think we're going to go ahead and abandon this one and try out a different mission. But hey, at least we got that recorded on film, so we can share that with the issue council. That's right. I'll have to check out that clip when I get a chance to. Let's take a look. I mean, server FPS is fluctuating between 4.5 and 10. Seems to be stabilizing at 10 now. Oh, does it autofill if you hit tab? Good to know.
The next shuttle is approaching the station.
All right. Well, at least we were able to recover
The shuttle is preparing to depart.
recover my character's gear.
Please clear the hatch. Shuttle will be departing.
Good to know. Awesome. Thank you for that tip. That'll definitely save some time. Guess let's go see if there's see if the NPCs are having the same issues at Bunker on Daymar. Hopefully not. Oh yeah, definitely. It's crazy all the small things that this game you can learn. You know, I've been playing since early 2017 and constantly still learning new things. Excuse me. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, I have to say honestly, one of the single greatest things that Star Citizen has brought for me has definitely been its community. You know, I've met some long-lasting friends throughout this playing this game, and just the overall sense of everyone wanting to help each other, you know, despite their overall goals and professions. You know, we all just want this game to be the best damn thing to ever come out since sliced bread, and that we can all enjoy talking about it and what, you know, our hopes and goals and ambitions are. Yeah, I know what you mean. I was in my sophomore year in university when I started playing, and made a small group of friends that we built the org I run around, and you know, never looked back since. This is pretty much the only game that I ever really play anymore. Yeah, I still play some other fun sandbox games here and now, but you know, I've gone so far that I've made a YouTube channel, you know, covering the updates and news and dev posts of the game, just because it's that enjoyable.
Approaching next station. If this is your stop, please prepare to disembark.
Last call for passengers. The shuttle is preparing to depart.
Alright, time for the long haul back to the spaceport. But at least we picked up a bunch of free ammo, so... Alright, man. Hey, Hype Monkey, thank you so much for coming and talking, man. I had a really good time chatting with you. And, you know, thanks for the follow. It means a lot. You know, we're really trying to grow our Twitch channel here as well as our YouTube channel. And it's been awesome. You know, I've been trying to do, you know, streams like this every day, a bit more now. Kind of going through a scheduling reshuffle right now, but you can usually expect me on around this time every day, and probably a bit earlier in the coming weeks. So, you know, hope to see you in the next one as well when you got the time.
For passengers, the shuttle is preparing to depart.
Enjoy your 3-day weekend, man. That's awesome.
Please
Always
clear
love
the
those.
hatch. Shuttle will be departing.
The next shuttle is approaching the station.
definitely gotta say, love the landing zones in this game. It's always take my breath away. Definitely can't wait for when more content, such as the interior buildings that were teased a couple weeks ago, come out.
Shuttle is approaching the station.
Please prepare to disembark.
The more places we can go and the more
Last
we
call for
can see,
passengers.
the
The
better.
shuttle is preparing to depart.
Please clear the hatch. Shuttle will be departing.
Last call for passengers. The shuttle is preparing to depart.
Approaching next station. If this is your stop, please prepare to disembark.
Last call for passengers. The shuttle is preparing to depart.
All right.
Last call for passengers. The shuttle is preparing to depart.
Why not take on a fair environment? A soft and lovable Finland storm wash. Available throughout the terminal.
What is that? Is that like... Looks like the wing of a ship. Ooh, 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 ooh. Getting a little ahead of myself there. It looks like a Gladius wing, or...
Consider industries with the domain 10% in all
With shuttles arriving daily.
Together, you're making a difference.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
And we'll take something
Vehicle
fast.
selected. Stand by.
One craft.
Your vehicle has been delivered to the following location.
Proudly presents the Hurricane, our standard setting all-purpose tactical starter. Airborne assaults and supply drops for Hurricane success. As the commercial interacts against the standard for Black transport for a massive scale. Contact procedures.
Anthem Aerospace. All systems online. Take off.
You are clear to launch.
Landing gear raised.
Thank you, and please visit again.
how much quicker it is to get up there.
Bottom drive is now off. Bottom drive is now on.
Alright. Hopefully the NPCs will be working properly at this location.
Bottom drive is now off.
Alright. Get this clipped in here as well so that I can give that to the issue council.
Landing gear deployed.
Do a quick flyby since we have someone who's parked far away.
Landing complete.
Alright, chat, let's do this. A lot of security around here on the bottom floor.
I'll bet you wish you could go back and play this thing.
Good sign so far, one down. Ah, shoot, that's security. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Oh, what a way to ruin the mission. That guy had no thing above his head. It's a level 1 or 2 crime stat 2. Well, now we get the joys of clearing that. Instead of getting pumped full of bullets. Oh, and my ship has been destroyed. Wonderful. My guess is security, or the turrets did that. Where was that other ship? Curious if it's still good. Alright, chat, looks like we're on an adventure. We're gonna go see if that other ship we saw when flying in is usable at all. Okay, not going that way, taking the long way. Oh, come on, you can make it. That took a while for the mission to fail. Stranded on a moon. Looks like it's over there, but unless if I was just seeing things. I think the desert heat's getting to me, guys. Oh, 30K. Yep, I figured the server was kind of starting to act up for some time now. Well, I guess that's a better place than any at the moment to end the stream. We've been going for a little over an hour now, and definitely had a good time streaming tonight. It was a fun time chatting with everyone, and yeah, for those who are watching on YouTube, if you like the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. It helps the YouTube algorithm spread our channel around, lets people know that we create Star Citizen content and live streams. If you feel like we deserved it, consider following us or subscribing to us for those who are on Twitch or on YouTube. You know, we're a small channel looking to grow. Our YouTube channel is sitting at 47 subscribers. We're looking to grow to 100 by the end of the year. And we have a special giveaway contest that we'll be announcing once we hit 50 subscribers. So more info on that coming soon. With that being said, we're going to end it here. I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.